All right, hello everyone. So I wanted to thank you all for coming to tonight's Area 6 KCCD Board of Trustees candidate meet and greet. I'd like to begin by allowing each candidate to have about a 2-minute introduction statement. And after that, we will enter a Q&A session where all the members present will be able to ask a question. And each candidate will be given approximately 2 minutes to respond to each question posed. And lastly, before we close, we will give each candidate the chance to have a 2-minute closing statement as well. So before we begin, I'd actually like to start by asking Dr. Damania a question. I'd like to ask him to share with us what the importance and what the role of a trustee is.
Wonderful, thank you. I am streaming this to Facebook Live right now, so I'm going to give myself just a brief head start on it so that we can get this going. So we are streaming to Facebook Live. Thank you for that. Hello, I'm Dr. Damania. I am the Director of Student Life at Bakersfield College and honor and privilege of advising the student government here at Bakersfield College. The role of the KCCD trustee is at the highest level of leadership and governance for the college. The college is part of a district. It is a 3-institutional district: Porterville College, Saracosa College, and Bakersfield College. All 3 of our sister colleges equal to Kern Community College District, which is governed by the Board of Trustees. Within the chat, I have placed the link to the Board of Trustees members. Currently, the president of the Board of Trustees is Mr. John Porkins. We have other members of the trustee board and our very own Miss Nan Gomez-Heitzenberg, who was our vice president of instruction at Bakersfield College for many years, started as a faculty member in Delano and has moved all the way up to the vice presidency and now serving as our beloved trustee. We also have our student trustee, Miss Raven Acosta-Webb, who has actually just joined us. Thank you, Miss Webb, for joining us today. They are the voice of the 3 institutions. This Area 6 is comprised of different areas within Lamont, Arvin, and a little bit up north as well to engage in representation on the board. Some things you need to think about this Area 6 representation is our rural communities and how they will communicate back and forth with our student body. They are at the highest level in all decisions that have been made, including financial decisions regarding Measure J, the bond that was passed in 2014, and all the educational movement and advancement and movement of the dial all happens at the trustee level. So it is in your great honor and privilege to meet your candidates, as well as learn about other candidates who may not show up today to make sure that you have an informed decision. More than likely, the student government has always given support or endorsed a candidate or candidates in their running for a position such as Area 6. So without further ado, I will pass it back over to Vice President McNellis.
All right, thank you, Dr. Damania, for that introduction as to what a trustee is and what their role is. So I'd like to go ahead and move on and begin by introducing our candidate that is present here today, Giovanni Jimenez. He is one of the 2 candidates running for the Kern County Community College District Trustee. So you are welcome to begin your 2-minute introduction statement whenever you are ready.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I'm Giovanni Jimenez, and I'm running for a seat on the Kern Community College District, KCCD, on Area 6, which includes the communities of Lamont, Arvin, and the southern part, and Kernville, Lake Isabella, and Glenville, and the northern portion of the area. As the son of immigrants and a first-generation college student, I know the importance of education. I know the power that education can have to transform and improve the lives of people in our communities. I graduated from a community college and then I went to attend CSUB both of my younger brothers attend Bakersfield College, so I do have a perspective of how things are going in Bakersfield College for my two younger brothers. And I'm currently a board member for the Bear Mountain Parks and Recreation and a case manager for Clinica Cervista. Today I'm here before you to earn your vote and support for my candidacy as your next KCCD trustee.
Did that conclude your introduction statement?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the Q&A section. So I'll go ahead and start us off with a question. So my question would be, and since you are the only candidate here, we'll give you some extra time to answer if you need it, but maybe keep your answers between like 2 and 3 minutes. And so I'll start us off with a question. My question is, why are you running for KCCD Board of Trustees, and what are the tenets of your platform?
I want to be a trustee because I believe in the power of education, and I want to be able to represent the Bakersfield students at a trustee level and also my community. There are 4 parts to my platform. The first one is we need to increase college access in rural communities. The second one is that I believe that a better Bakersfield College is a better current, and we need to increase educational access. We must expand our footprint. So I commit to the successful implementation of Measure J projects, including the development of the Bakersfield College urban campus and enhancing educational sites in rural communities. The third one is closing the digital divide. When we close the digital divide, there's a way to decrease our educational gap. All students need access to an internet connection and to a laptop in order to do their homework and attend their classes, especially right now during this whole COVID-19 situation. So I commit to working closely with the colleges to close that digital divide, especially in the communities of Kernville, Lake Isabella, and Glenville. The fourth one is improving our industry partnerships. Our rural communities need strong educational pathways to high-paying jobs. So I commit to strengthening college pathways to quality jobs by forming partnerships with different company initiatives. This is what I stand for and the thoughts I share with you guys today.
All right, perfect, thank you. At this time, I'd like to allow for any of the other members of this call, if you did have a question, you are welcome to type them in the chat so one of our moderators can recognize you. All right, we have a question from Crystal Knox. She asks, what do you think about bringing different schools closer together as a community, and how would you do that?
Well, the first step is making sure the Bakersfield College Urban project is completed and forming that partnership between Bakersfield College, Urban, BC, Porterville, and Sierra Costa. So I'm not sure what the question is asking, how I will partner the 3 schools together or how I'll bring more schools to our district. Can you be a little bit more specific on that question?
I'm guessing, oh, Raven, did you have something to say?
Yes, if I may. So I think, especially as student trustee, I'm kind of very familiar with that. A very, very hard part, in my opinion, as student trustee and potentially for a board member is how do we keep these colleges connected with one another in a sense of not just necessarily, events are important, organizations are important, but there's always this gap. There's always, BC is getting, this information, and we're not even necessarily aware as Bakersfield College students what is potentially happening with Rocoso College, Porterville College. So I think that it's important to try and see if we are going to have a leadership that has a potential solution or how they can help us bridge that gap.
Well, I think the first thing I'll do is work with other trustees and try to find the solution to that problem. Try to find what the reason why that problem is happening, and possibly form a committee. If we're able to form a committee with you, Ryan, who you are the student trustee, and talk to students, talk to everyone. Once we find the problem, once we have the problem, once we find the cause of the problem, then we can find the solutions. And like you said, something as simple as organizing events, creating like a pride of all colleges coming together. But for that, we first need to, I first need to be a trustee, talk to the other trustees, and possibly form that committee and talk to students and see what's going on. Once we find the problem, then we can find the solution.
Yeah, I was also thinking that would be nice if there was some kind of social network or some kind of online platform that schools could use so we can like communicate that way.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great to possibly like have the same clubs that there is at Bakersfield College, have them in Corval College, Sena Coast, and have like a way of communication so we can all be in the same page.
I'd like to take a moment. Dr. D pointed something out. I'd like to take this time to ask if there are any other candidates for the position of KCCD trustee on the line with us right now. If you are welcome to speak up, and I can make sure that you are given the chance to answer all of these questions as well. So I believe Giovanni is the only candidate we have on the line. So we can continue with our Q&A session. Thank you, Dr. D. We just wanted to double check on that. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of the questions in the chat in order that they came in. The next one after Crystal's question was from Maria. She asked, is there anything that is currently implemented that you will change or you are thinking of changing?
You probably know, as a trustee, I'm not able to change anything without the support of the other trustees. So everything has to do with working in a team. Everything will have to be finding the problems and then finding a solution to the problems. So right now, the first thing I want to do is, if I get elected, work with our trustees and try to bring solutions, try to talk to the student government, because you guys are the ones that are more familiar with all the issues and problems.
All right, thank you. So with that, we'll move on to the next question. We'll move on to the next question from Mary or Blendine. What is the first thing that you would do if you are elected?
The first thing I would do if elected is get to know the student government more. Talk to you guys so I can know the perspective of you guys of how everything is running. And also talk to trustees, get to know each single of the other trustees and get to a point of view. So the first thing that I would do is inform myself with everything that's going on, with the current problems and everything that's going well too.
All right, thank you. That answered your question. We'll go ahead and move on to the next question from Edith Mata. She is a senator for BCSGA. She asks, where do you stand with ethnic studies? What are your thoughts on this topic?
I believe ethnic studies is something important. And I believe that anyone that wants to seek more information should seek more information about ethnic studies or take classes.
All right, next question. We have two more from Raven Acosta-Webb, our student trustee. She asks, how will you ensure education is brought to the rural areas within Kern County?
The first thing we need to do is complete the Bakersfield College Urban Campus. And after we complete that one, we can look at ways of taking education to other rural communities. And also, in the meantime, we could find better transportation between the rural areas like Lake Isabella, Kern, Vail, and Bakersfield College.
All right, thank you. And then Raven, you had another question. Would you like to speak your question out loud? I want to give you the chance to do that as well.
Yeah, sure. So my next question would be just to kind of make it a little bit less wordy. It's just more so, what is your plan, or how do you intend to stay connected as a trustee to Bakersfield College, all the colleges in body, and advocate for change that's in the best interest for them?
I plan on attending your meetings, because during the meeting, that's when you guys talk about the problems, the issues, and all that. And from there, if something needs to be taken to the board of trustees take it there for discussion. So yes, by attending your board meeting and different events around Bakersfield College, Porterville College, and Sena Costa College.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next question from Maria again. I want to give you the chance. Would you like to speak it out loud? If you'd like to provide any other words for it.
Hi, just basically for ethnic studies, I know that in universities it's required for new students to take ethnic studies. Do you believe that that should be required for everyone? Or what is your stance on ethnic studies? Like, if you do support it, how are you supporting it, basically?
Well, education is about opening minds to different experiences and worldviews. And I will support any courses that do that, especially if the students are asking for it and want it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, then we have another question from BCSGA Senator Mata. Would you like to voice it, or would you like me to voice it for you?
Sure, Emma. Hi, Giovanni.
Hello.
So ethnic studies, I feel like it's very important to I think it's an answer to the many issues that we have within the educational system. And I'm a huge advocate for it. So if you say that you would support it, so how much, I just want to know how much do you know about ethnic studies? And if you don't know a lot, are you willing to learn, or
I know the basics. I don't know much about it, but I do know that ethnic studies has to do with how the society is in your mind. We need to diversify our faculty, and we need to have the student population and the faculty population reflect on each other. So to answer your questions, I do believe that ethnic studies is really important, and of course I'm willing to learn. My role as a trustee is not to know everything. My role as a trustee is to make the best decision for our students. That's why I'm asking for you to invite me and have a conversation like this one, so that I can learn from you and decide which will be better.
Thank you for your honest responses. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and I see no more questions in the chat, but I'll go ahead and ask another one that comes to mind. Do you have any plans or ideas as to how to really help support students, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic specifically?
Well, I think something important right now is making sure all our students have an internet connection, a reliable laptop, and can attend online classes. So, and anything we can do to help support that. Going back to the question you were asking me, I think it's also important to inform our students how to keep their family safe during this pandemic, providing more information.
Very true.
We need to be able to keep everyone safe, especially in our communities.
Yes, thank you. All right. Last call. Any other questions?
I have one.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. why are you running for this position? Like, what was your motivation, I guess I want to say, and what is it that you plan to accomplish if you are appointed to this position?
Well, my motivation was to serve my community. So right now I'm a board member for the Bird Mountain Parks and Recreation. So I've been serving my community for the last 2 years. And I just wanted to plan on that and now serve my community in the educational field. Growing up in Lamont and Arvin, I know the need for higher education in these areas because education can improve the lives of the people in our community. So I want to be able to bring that Bakersfield campus Arvin to Arvin so we can work on improving higher education numbers.
Thank you. And then, okay. And if you get elected, what are some of your plans that you plan on, I guess, yeah, I'm taking on?
Well, my plans is to ensure to increase college access for rural locations and also improve the transportation between the Lake Isabela, Kernville areas and Bakersfield College to make sure that anyone who lives up in the mountains can attend college and transportation won't be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And also working to close the digital divide in rural communities and strengthening the pathways to high-paying jobs in rural communities. Those are the 4 things I
Yeah,
want
that's
to
cool.
accomplish.
Thank you for sharing that. And then when it comes down to ensuring the transportation for students, have you thought about like how do you plan on doing that, or like, yeah?
Working with the community and having, if we were able to, town halls to see what solutions the community has to that. By solution is talking to the city to see if they can have more buses run from Lake Isabela, Kernville area to Bakersfield College, or from Arvin to Bakersfield College. So yes,
Okay.
finding a way to partner with different organizations to make that a reality.
Thank you. That's gonna complete my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your questions. Were there any last ones before we conclude?
Like other things that are right now going on at like BC or in the general colleges that you would get rid of?
Like I said, my first task as a trustee is it will be to talk to our trustees and talk to you guys to get your point of view to see what you guys think are working and what you guys think are not working, and from there make a decision. So like I said, I'm not able to make no decisions by myself. I will need the support of the other trustees for that.
All right, thank you. And then we have another question in the chat from Kevin Douglas. He asks, what makes you different from other candidates?
I think what makes me different is the love I have for the community that I live in, and the desire I have to increase the to bring the Bakersfield College to Arvin. Something I keep on bringing up Arvin and Lamont. The reason is because I grew up in this community, and I know the benefits that higher education can bring to this community. But like I have mentioned too, like I will also be representing Lake Isabela, Glenville, and I'm also finding ways to help those students close the digital divide and have a better transportation to Bakersfield College or Sierra Costa.
Any last questions? All right. Seeing and hearing no more questions, we'll go ahead and move to our conclusion. We'll go ahead and give you, Mr. Jimenez, we'll go ahead and give you another 2-minute closing statement before we adjourn this session. So you're welcome to start whenever you'd like.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you all. I conclude for my candidacy for KCCD trustee by making the following commitments. I commit to ensuring increased college access for rural communities, the successful implementation of the Bakersfield College Arvin site, working to close the digital divide in rural communities, and strengthening the pathways to high-paying jobs in rural communities. So I will be honored to serve my community as a KCCD trustee, and I hope to earn your endorsement and, of course, your vote on November 3rd. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I know we all thank you very much for coming and speaking with us. We really appreciate it. So yeah, any other comments from anyone on the line?
If I may, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who showed up today, asking questions. And thank you for allowing us to ask you multiple questions. And I do feel like your goals are very, very well put out there, clear enough for everyone to understand. So that was also really, really nice to experience. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Were there anyone else who'd like to say a few words before we leave?
Just yes, thank you for joining the call, because there's not many candidates did, so it's very appreciated that you did. And I just wish you the best of luck with your election.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is Edith. I appreciate the fact that you're here, talking to us and really like wanting to hear what we have to say. And that you're so open to learn, because, sometimes people come with like their own ideas and they're not open to explore other things, and really appreciate that. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm always willing to learn, like I said, like the road the trustees not to know everything or not, or have their own ideas. His or her role is supposed to be to learn from the students and everyone else.
And how do we reach out to you?
Okay, I will write my email on the chat, and you can feel free to send me an email, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, that's awesome. We'll wait for that chat to come through.
And also, you guys, if you guys have some free time, you guys are welcome to volunteer for my campaign, doing some phone calls or canvassing. So I will put my contact information in the chat box.
All right. I'd just like to thank everyone again for coming. I know it's 7:00 p.m. We appreciate you all taking time out of your night to come. Thank you again, Giovanni, for stopping by. I know everyone's already said it, but I'd like to say it again. We really appreciate you coming to talk with us, and the amount of emphasis you put on our voices, and we really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you all for coming.